Wow. Quite a day in the stock market. Watching this is Jeff Wright with Fish Creek Capital, Lunchtime Profits. Well, so we started out market up. Everything was doing great. NVIDIA earnings were awesome. We'll go over that in a second. And we are down now. We just bounced off of session lows. There's a 1,000-point turn in the Dow from highs. So it's ugly. It's an ugly day. And, I'm sure many of you are frustrated if you're trying to watch this stuff, especially during the day. And it's hard to figure out. There's no doubt it's hard to figure out. The market is up this year, but it's been hard if you're trying to keep up with it. And you've got a lot of the AI hype, that drove up the market a lot. And everybody was kind of waiting on the NVIDIA earnings yesterday to kind of talk to hear what Jensen was going to say about that, the CEO of NVIDIA. And let's just get into those earnings real quickly today. It is November 20th, Thursday, 2025. Thank you again for joining, Jeff. This is Jeff Wright with Fish Creek Capital. And just trying to use a few minutes of your lunchtime to talk about financial news and education, especially focusing in around dividend growing companies and dividend growing portfolios, because we like cash flow and we want to invest for the long term and not have to worry about days like today, like a lot of people are out there worrying. So NVIDIA earnings. Let's just go over that. They exceeded earnings. The revenue was $57 billion, up 22% from quarter two. So that they had record-breaking results. This was the end of the third quarter, fiscal third quarter ending October 26, 2025. They exceeded Wall Street expectations. And the big, I think, point was, I listened to the whole thing and people wanted to hear what, again, Jensen was going to say on the call during the Q&A. And he really talked about there's three types of AI. One of those is agentic AI. I wasn't really familiar with what that term agentic meant. And so if you search that, really what he was referring to is AI that can act autonomously. That would be like robots or self-driving vehicles. So you've heard Elon talk about that a lot with Tesla. We've got the Google Waymo cars out there that you can ride in. And so agentic AI, if you hear that term, that's what that's talking about, robots, self-driving vehicles. So learn something new. And he went on to say that he thinks we're not even at the beginning of agentic AI. And he emphasized that as a net new consumption area. And he thinks that's going to continue to drive growth, especially for their company, and just the hundreds of billions in funding that are already committed. He thinks that will be able to be put to use, and did not think we were in an AI bubble at all. In fact, he thinks we're still at the beginning stages of their growth and what they can sell and generate and where all this is going. So that was pretty good. And we saw the market up a lot last night. NVIDIA was up. It's still off all-time highs, but it was up. The futures went way up. And that's how we opened this morning. But then again, we have sold off, and we are basically at lows of the day. Let's just look at that again. So it's moving so fast. The Dow's down 0.69%, the S&P's down 1.14%, and then the Nasdaq's down 1.5%. So again, a dramatic turnaround from the way we started out. And so when it comes to NVIDIA, I think one of the things to remember when you talk about some of these other AI companies that they've invested in, a lot of those companies, it is future growth that they're anticipating. A lot of them don't have real earnings yet, and there's a lot of hype around that. And so you got to be careful with that. That's not a long-term plan, in my opinion, because you just don't know which of those companies are going to make it and do well and which ones are not. But what's different about NVIDIA is, and one reason they've done so well, and one reason the stock has done so well, let's even see this year, it is year to date. Let's see if we can see what it is. Yeah, so it's up 35% year to date. And one reason that's the case is NVIDIA is actually a good company. They have tons of cash flow. Their profit margins are their gross margins are at 73%. So like they're in the mid 70s, which that is crazy good for gross profit margin. And they have little debt. They have a great CEO. They actually do pay a dividend. They're gonna pay a 1 cent a dividend actually for this quarter. They're also buying back stock. So that's why you see NVIDIA stock doing so well. It's actually a good company with strong earnings, strong cash flow, low debt, good management. And so that's just something to remember when you're looking at these AI companies. They're not all like that, and I think that's what you got to remember, and so that's back to why we like strong growing companies like NVIDIA. NVIDIA does pay a dividend, and because you don't want to have to worry on days like today when there's 1,000-point swing in the Dow, and you're kind of panicking over what to do. If you got the long-term plan of investing in companies as a business owner, acting as a owner in a real business that produces real cash flow and is distributing that back to shareholders, it brings such peace of mind on days like today. And it gives you confidence in your plan. It gives you confidence in being an owner of a real business. And all the volatility that is starting to pop up is not front and center, because you don't have to worry about it. You know what your long-term plan is, and your dividends are growing and being paid quarterly, maybe even monthly, and that's reassuring. So that's why we emphasize just this strategy. And again, this is not investment advice. This is for educational purposes only. But if you're frustrated today, if you're worried about what's going to happen and need help with your portfolio, please reach out, fishcreekcapital.com. Click on learn more, and I'd love to help you look at your portfolio and talk through that. Well, I'll do that for free, and would love to help you do that, because today's like today make you rethink what your strategy is, and you want a good long-term strategy that's proven over many years. And so we'll see where this ends. Right now we're not getting a Christmas rally or Thanksgiving rally. There's at least not today. So again, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and follow.